All right, everybody, good morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. It is 11 a.m. Pacific, so let's go ahead and get this webinar up and running. Thank you for joining. First of all, my name is Mike Margle. I am the Vice President here at James Publishing. Been with the company for 15 years now. Time goes very, very quickly. Seems like just yesterday I joined, and now it's been 15 years. And we are also celebrating our 40th year as a company this year. So happy birthday to us, and thank you for being part of that journey. We really appreciate it. Today I'm excited to present to you our latest webinar, 3 effective and free legal marketing techniques. Typically, when I do my webinars, I try to aim for about 30 to 40 minutes. This one may be a little bit more in depth. We may go closer to an hour, so please sit tight. And if you do have to leave, don't fear. We will send you a recording after the presentation is done. We will also be sending you our checklist of 23 legal marketing suggestions, so stay tuned for that. That will accompany the recording of the presentation. Just give us a couple hours after the presentation is done to sort of compile all the footage, and then it will be in your inbox, hopefully by the end of the day. Now, we will also have a question and answer session after the presentation. So if there's anything I mentioned you have a question about, go ahead and drop it into the Q&A session on the box of the Zoom or the chat box, and we'll go ahead and address those at the end of the session. And I do also want to bring your attention right now to the chat box. I'm going to go ahead and drop my scheduling link in there. So again, if you want to discuss something a little bit more in depth after the session, go ahead and use that scheduling link to set an appointment with me. I'll do some research about your firm. We can wrap back and forth about some ideas, brainstorming, how we might be able to help you. For those of you who are watching the recording and couldn't make it live, I will also have that scheduling link at the end of the presentation on one of the slides. Okay, so that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to talk, like I said, about those 3 effective and free legal marketing techniques. The first is taking advantage of others' audiences. The second is finding and landing new referral partners. And the third being distinguish yourself from your competition. So these techniques don't take anything but your time, which makes them great uses of your time, and they have huge return on investment for that reason as well. So let's go ahead and we'll get going. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about today, the first technique we're going to speak about, is taking advantage of others' audiences. Obviously, finding qualified prospects is sort of the biggest hurdle in legal marketing, right? Agencies cost a lot of money. You may be spending hundreds or even thousands of dollars per month, all to put a few lines of copy in front of online searchers. Now, what if you could invest sort of your time, but not your money, in doing something a little bit different? Maybe you could team up with people who have email lists that you would like to reach, maybe some promotional partners you can link up with. Now, that's a great use of your time and will also save you a ton of money. We do this at James Publishing. You may have even received our email from a different list. We partner with people all the time trying to expand our reach. You can do much the same as a law firm, and that's what I'm going to detail here for you. So the steps we're going to review in this particular technique are, number 1, identifying those prospective promo partners. Number 2, offering to collaborate with them. Number 3, creating a giveaway for their audience that will appeal to those folks. Number 4, just repeating that process with other partners. And then 5, experimenting with additional offers. So the first step is obviously you want to identify those prospective promotional partners, right? That's going to be step number 1, no matter what. The best partners are going to have sizable, current, and engaged email lists. These are the folks that you want to reach, right? The folks who would make good clients for your firm, those are the folks you want to reach. So when you think of potential promotional partners, here are just a few examples when you sort of start, thinking about who you might want to reach and connect with. So for bankruptcy attorneys, maybe someone like a credit counselor, right? For an estate planner, a financial advisor, or insurance agents would work really well. Marriage counselors for family lawyers would be fantastic. And then for Social Security disability, personal injury lawyers, chiropractors, right? Those are folks who may encounter people who need legal help but are not attorneys themselves. Now, you don't want to be chasing partners who don't have engaged email lists. So you're going to want to find the savviest marketers possible. Look around, spend some time doing this. You want to look for those who have sort of modern email capture techniques, right? Are they using something like a lead magnet on their website? Do they use webinars or video channels? Do they use Facebook groups? Do they post to their social media? Do they have digital newsletters? All of this sort of informs who this person is. And again, the savvier the marketer is, the more likely it is that they're going to have an email list that you actually want to connect with. Now, once you've identified those folks, obviously offering to collaborate is the next step. So visualize in terms of your collaboration technique, what is the helpful information that you can provide to that person's email list, right? What is it that you can provide to show value to those people? So whether that's an educational webinar, a booklet, something like an assessment tool, These are all ways that you can show value, and I'll provide specific examples in the following slides. But again, when we're talking about collaboration, let's go ahead and delegate some of this work too. A team member can make these calls. You're very busy. We don't want to put a ton of work on your plate. So delegate this outreach to a team member. That's really important. And it doesn't matter if your team member reaches this prospective promotional partner. The fact that they can leave an email or a voicemail is more than sufficient. And I'll explain a little bit more about why that is later in the presentation as well. But consider that you're going to have to spend an average of 2 to 3 hours probably on the phone to get one promotional partner appointment set up. So it's going to take some time, but again, if your team member is available, this isn't going to cost you any extra money, and the return on investment can be very, very high. So your team member also needs to explain the trade, right? And the trade is that you want to email that partners list with your giveaway, and you will do the exact same thing for that partner. It's a one-to-one swap. It's easy to explain. Everyone should understand it, right? Now, encourage something that is non-salesy. At James Publishing, we're huge believers in educational content rather than sales, as you've probably noticed if you've seen any of our presentations. So when you're thinking about what to give away, don't try to sell. Make it something informative. Make it like a webinar, anything like that, a booklet that would be helpful. Don't try to sell, try to build trust and build a connection. Now, specifically for the giveaway, we like webinars. Again, thanks for joining. We appreciate it. You've probably seen me talk before. You may have seen our president, Cara, talk about it. So webinars are great, but they don't work for every specialty. However, for those specialties that aren't really sort of related to a time-sensitive event, now this could be bankruptcy, business litigation, business transactions even, estate planning, immigration, social security, disability, right? These are specialties that aren't really dependent on a specific event or time-sensitive event, I should say. So webinars would be great for that. Presentation addressing frequently asked questions, something that would foster that relationship. That's fantastic. Now, for other specialties that are really dependent on a time-sensitive event, personal injury, for example, family law, criminal defense, right? These are critical events that happen and need sort of immediate resolution. Think about other things you can do. Maybe textual information might be a better giveaway, right? And there are plenty of things you can do within that bubble. So mini books, booklets, quizzes, evaluation tools, all of those would be great for those more time-sensitive events. Now, here are some giveaway examples. And again, we will send a recording of this presentation, so don't feel like you have to write everything down, just take notes. And when you're sort of thinking again about the giveaway, you want to address the questions and concern facing prospective clients when they first encounter their legal issue, right? You're getting on the ground floor with them. They don't know who you are, but you're going to immediately start addressing that question. So the delivery method, whether it's verbal or written, it's not quite as important as the challenge that you're addressing. That specific item that you want to sort of take from them and make them feel better about, that's the most critical part of this. So for brainstorming, think about questions that you're asked by prospective clients and even new clients during the legal process, right? What do you hear most common? That would be a great place to start. And obviously the coverage of this should be as broad as possible. We want to hit as many people as possible right up front with this first giveaway in particular. Appeal to the most people, have the biggest reach possible. Later, we can delve into narrower topics, and we'll talk a little bit about how to repeat in some slides coming up in the future. But at the beginning, definitely focus on the most broad appeal possible, and that will pay the most dividends for you. Now, at James Publishing, we have a steadily growing library of about 200 consumer educational booklets, and you'll see some examples of those on the screen. Now, these type of things are perfect to trade with a promotional partner, right? They're high in educational value. They're not salesy. Say, for example, that you are a personal injury attorney, and you can see there on the screen, we have the 11 things insurance companies don't want you to know, right? This is perfect to send to a chiropractor's list. These people may be injured and need help, but they don't know an attorney. That's perfect value add. You're just being educational. You're not selling. Now, if you want to do a giveaway and you want to brainstorm with me a little bit about, the types of giveaways that would be good, maybe pick my brain a little bit about the types of content we've created for our subscribers, I encourage you to set an appointment with me, and I'll go ahead and drop that link again in the chat box. So don't be shy. Go ahead and set an appointment with me. Again, we'll wrap about, what you're doing well, what kind of brainstorming and techniques we can kind of get up and set up for your firm. So again, don't be shy. Make an appointment with me if you'd like to chat. Okay, so now that we've kind of gone through those initial steps, you've connected with a referral partner, you have a giveaway, or a promotional partner, I should say, you have a giveaway, etc. We're going to want to repeat this with other partners, right? We want to expand your reach. Having a big network of these promotional partners is the best thing for you. So having those multiple partners will always return the best return on investment for you. And then, of course, again, focus on people who have sizable and engaged email lists. I cannot stress that enough. Connecting with someone who doesn't have a good email list will be absolutely pointless for you in terms of this outreach effort specifically. So the same is true on your side, though. So just because you're looking for people with an engaged email list doesn't mean you can ignore your email list. You want to be able to say to your potential promo partner, I have a list of several hundred or several thousand engaged people who really respond well to me. That's powerful. So in terms of sort of fostering your own list, be sure you're sending them helpful content. You want them to look forward to hearing from you so that when you promote your partner's giveaway, they actually care. So that's really important as well. Don't forget your own email network when we're talking about this kind of stuff. So promoting your giveaway to multiple partners lists is obviously the best way to grow your own list, because every person who signs up is then just another contact that you have in your roster. So again, think about that when we're talking about outreach to multiple promotional partners lists. And then experiment with other offers. Obviously, you have your one giveaway, seems to be working well. Perfect. What else can we do? The two best ways to expand the frequency would be, of course, having more promotional partners. Referral partners would be the next step of the process. Promotional partners, increasing them, and then increasing the number of giveaways that you have as well. So those successful giveaways take time to create. I am not being facetious in any way when I say that our libraries, those 200 educational books, took us years to create, and we're still putting time into it. So it's very, very time intensive, but the rewards are really substantial. So if you can dedicate some time to it, if you can get in the habit of it, it will pay dividends for you. So you can also think about ways you could reuse some of your previous giveaways. So for example, if you have done a webinar, for your promotional partners list, can you place that on YouTube where other people might find it? If you've delivered a booklet to your promotional partners list, can you share that on your social media? Think of ways that you might gain value from your own giveaways into the future. Expand the number of topics that you cover, right? Gradually expanding that library of giveaways is perfect. Think about which giveaways perform best and stick with those as you run through this process. Reuse those presentations and giveaways later. You can sort of drift away from the ones that aren't as effective for you. I highly recommend you install tracking for just about everything you do at the firm, whether it's marketing based, intake, monetary, all that should be tracked. It will be very beneficial to you. Okay, so like I mentioned, the referral partners are the next step in the process, and that is the second effective and free legal marketing technique that we're going to talk about today. Now, you've probably heard us talk about this before, but the reason we talk about it sort of on a consistent basis is because referrals are so critical. Almost every law firm I speak to, and I speak with attorneys just about every day about their marketing, almost every firm I speak to says, referrals and word of mouth are some of the absolute most critical components of how I generate lead flow. Perfect, right? Everyone wants more referrals. They don't cost much to obtain. They convert quickly. They sort of trust you automatically. They're more cooperative, and they're more likely to be good referral sources themselves down the line. So that all makes up the reason why we sort of hammer the referral partners home all the time. So we've set nearly 1,000 appointments with interested professionals who want to discuss a referral partnership for our subscribers of our Marketing Amplifier program. And I'll talk about the amplifier toward the end of the presentation, but know that we have a lot of experience doing this, probably more experience than anyone setting these appointments with potential referral partners. So when I explain this process, our sort of easy and efficient process, know that this is based in years of not only research, but trial and error. So this process works. It will be effective for you, again, as long as you can dedicate some time and get in the habit of it. Now, step one, always, always, always is going to be list compilation. Much like those potential promotional partners, right? You're going to want to look around and create a list that gives you sort of a roadmap to follow when you sort of start reaching out. So lawyers understand referral networking sort of inherently, which is why we say that our list includes 75% lawyers and then 25% of what we call allied professionals, folks who may encounter those who need legal help, but they themselves are not attorneys. So marriage counselor, for example, like I mentioned, for family lawyers, chiropractors, those are folks we've had really good success with, maybe a CPA for estate planners, that type of thing. So 25% them and then 75% lawyers. Let's focus on lawyers. And again, when we're looking around for these folks, you're going to want to look for what we would call savvy marketers, right? Are their websites good? Do they have a good number of organic traffic coming through? Do they have a lot of positive reviews on their Google page? You know, that type of thing. This will really let you know who's involved and who understands, because they're more likely to be potential referral partners for you, and also sort of inherently understand the value of that partnership as well. It'll make the outreach much, much easier for you. Now, if you want to check something like organic traffic, for example, you may be saying to yourself, well, how am I supposed to know that? And that's a good question. You can go to a website called ubersuggest.com. That's Uber, like a ride sharing app, and suggest.com. It's a free tool. You can type in any website address and the tool will spit out exactly how much organic, meaning non-paid, so non-PPC traffic is coming to that site. It's a great way to see if this person is sort of investing in search engine optimization, how many people do they have, how many people are they likely to know, etc. That will all inform how many referrals they might be able to send your way. So with the list compilation, you should not be responsible for compiling it. Again, delegation is important, much like we talked about with the dialing for the promotional partners. So delegate this out to a team member, right? They can compile the list, but you should absolutely review the list before any calls are made. You want to be sure that these are people you do want to connect with. So take some time to review the list, let a team member actually do the compilation for you. Now, again, delegation, right? Assign the initial outreach to someone on your team. You should, of course, handle the very first call, and I'll talk a little bit about scripts in the coming slides here and what you can say during those conversations. So if you can handle the first call, this doesn't take very long, handle the first call, and then the sort of personalized follow-up involved, your team member will then understand the technique and you'll be better able to explain it to them down the line as well. So with the appointment setting calls, these are basically cold calls. You're reaching out to folks who may have no idea who you are. So the person this is assigned to needs to be comfortable on the phone. They need to be outgoing. They need to be charming, charismatic, right? Someone cannot be scared of the phone if you are giving them this outreach. So again, think of who at your office is really good on the phone and delegate this task to them specifically. Now, next step, of course, you've got your list. You know who you want to reach out to. Time to begin calling. Now, your team member, again, is going to make all of these calls for you, except you will do the first one. And they'll simply call this law firm, this other business, and ask to speak to, the professional, whether that's the attorney, the business owner, etc. And typically, your team member is not going to reach that person right off the bat. That's okay. It's perfectly fine, and I'll explain why. So all you need to do is have your caller ask for, the email address of this person and leave a voicemail. And a typical call with, a gatekeeper, someone who's working the front desk, obviously they may prevent this person from getting to that professional, but that's okay. So a typical call with a gatekeeper might go something like this. It's a really simple script. I'm calling on behalf of attorney Janie Jones. She's interested in discussing a potential referral partnership with Bruce Dickinson. May I have Mr. Dickinson's email so that I may send an explanatory message? Thanks very much. Can you please transfer me to Mr. Dickinson or his voicemail as well? That's all it is. It's a very simple script. It only has a few sentences and takes about a minute to convey, right? It's not important that you reach or your caller reaches Mr. Dickinson live. What works is conveying the interest in having that exploratory phone call about a potential referral partnership. 10 to 15 minutes, just explain that it's short and sweet. And again, if that professional is a savvy marketer, when they receive this message, they will say to themselves, wow, this sounds like a good opportunity to build my referral network. You should also be sure that your assistant or caller or team member has access to a digital calendar tool. This calendar will link with your calendar specifically, whether that's Outlook or Google Calendar. It will also be able to send reminders to your potential referral partner as well. So you'll get a reminder, they'll get a reminder. These tools are really easy to use and they don't cost very much at all. So if you're interested in checking this out, tools like Calendly, Bookify, or I myself, if you've noticed my chat links over there, I use Schedule Once. So, these are all easy tools to set up and they really pay dividends in terms of the fact that they will allow you to calendar appointments and also send automated reminders to sort of lessen the amount of times that these appointments are dropped or missed. Now, about 2/3 of all the appointments that we set for our subscribers, and again, we've set about 1,000 of these, if not more at this point, about 2/3 of all those appointments come from return calls from these voicemails and these emails. So again, let your team member know that they should not get discouraged when they don't reach the professional. Just leave the voicemail, send the email, return calls are going to come. Now, like I mentioned with the promotional partners in terms of visualizing exactly how much time is going to be spent here. 2 to 3 hours, I would say, is average for our team when we want to set a potential referral partnership up or a promotional partner. So again, it takes some time. We try to set about one appointment, meaning one referral partner appointment, every month or every month and a half. And the reason for that is because the frequency of that is not enough to overwhelm you. Obviously, you're busy. Having 7 or 8 referral partnerships every month is quickly going to overload you, which we do not want. So the one per month, one for every month and a half, every 90 days, etc., would be enough to slowly build your referral network over time, which is all you need. You just need to slowly ramp up, because if you just have one per month, after a year, you've had 12. And if all those 12 referral partners are engaged, and even half of them send you a referral every month, well, you've really done a good job. And your firm is now sort of swimming in referrals, which is perfect. So consistency is key. If anything gets dropped, if they need to reschedule, get that rescheduling done. Consistency is key, and I'll mention this sort of throughout the presentation, but as long as you get in the habit of doing this, the gradual boost to your professional referral network is going to have a huge return on investment for you well into the future. So when you have these initial calls, a lot of our subscribers, because they're not familiar with sort of building these, sort of cold call referral partnerships, they ask, what am I supposed to say during these calls? Well, it's simple and easy. You want to mostly focus on the partner during this call, right? Everyone likes to talk about themselves, and I do as well. But during this call, spend most of your time listening rather than talking. So find out, how this partner's firm started or their business. How do they get leads and clients? What types of cases do they handle? The practice's case volume? What is their ideal client, right? Focus on the partner and their needs first. They will recognize that you are asking questions and are interested in them, which is important too. And you should also seek to learn some personal information if you can. Do they have family members? What's their favorite sports team? Do they have hobbies? Do they have favorite restaurants around town? All of this stuff sort of informs that relationship and helps you provide value later on. So be sure to take notes. I'll mention these notes in just a minute here as well, but be sure to take notes during the call, because if you're having these continual referral partnerships and these continual meetings, you're going to get people mixed up. You won't be able to retain all of that knowledge. So just take some quick notes. Doesn't have to be anything complex, but the notes will definitely help you. Once the partner is done talking about their practice and their livelihood, their goals, their dreams, etc., you can, of course, relay that same information about yourself so that they have it as well. All right, so you've had the conversation, things are going well, perfect. Now we need to sort of follow up, right? You've had the first call, but what happens next? So I would recommend that immediately after you have a referral partner conversation, just send a quick and friendly follow-up email, right? 5 to 10 minutes afterward, just drop a quick email, let them know how much you value that they spent some time with you, and be sure, if you can, to drop a personal note in there as well. Something you learned during the call that's specific to that partner. Personalize that message a little bit. Again, those notes I encourage you to take would be very helpful here. So provide something of value in the email also, if possible. You need to stay in regular contact with these folks, and you also need to make sure that these partnerships are balanced, which we'll talk about in just a moment here as well. So a lot of the questions that we get from our subscribers, or even just general attorneys I speak to frequently, would be, what do? I don't have a referral to send back to this new referral partner. So what am I supposed to do? They're going to know that I'm not showing value to them. Well, that's okay. That's a very common question, but there's a lot of different ways that you can provide value if you can't cross-refer. Everyone knows that, the start of that referral partnership, 5 minutes later, you're probably not going to have a referral to send. That's okay. There are other ways you can do this. So remember those notes again that I keep mentioning and harping on about? The notes, yeah, check those. Did they mention anything? Can you send that person sort of a modest gift in exchange for a referral? Something that that they like? Perfect. Just check your notes and send that along. Those perfect tailored gifts, that kind of thing. Include a personal note every time you do that. Hand write it out. That's critical as well. Let them know that you're spending time and that you value that referral that came in. Send lots of thank yous, status updates. If you're dealing with a referral that they sent over, let them know how that case is unfolding. That's also really critical as well. For our subscribers in particular, meaning subscribers to the Marketing Amplifier program, we provide value in several different ways. So first of all, if, again, there is no cross-referral that can be made, we can brand some of our content on behalf of that new referral partner for our subscribers. So let's say, for example, that we're working with a personal injury attorney and they've partnered with an estate planner for their referral network. Maybe the estate planner really likes some of the content we have. We have books and booklets and newsletters and all that type of stuff. We can actually brand that content for that referral partner. That's a great way for our injury subscriber to show value without being able to cross-refer right away. We also send things like tailored marketing books. So not just how to run a better law firm, but how to run a better business as well. And then every other month, we sort of generate these, I would say, professional business newsletters containing solid marketing tips. So there's always a steady flow of value adds being delivered to this new referral partner, right? We also provide a professional newsletter that specifically demonstrates our subscribers' expertise and knowledge of the law. Again, keeping them top of mind with this referral partner, that's great too. You want the referral partner to remember that they should also be referring out to our subscriber too. Now, to learn more about any of these value adds that I mentioned, again, I'm going to drop my scheduling link into the chat box now. And again, for those of you watching the recording rather than live, I will have that link on a text slide later in the presentation as well. So if you want to learn more about anything I just mentioned, go ahead and set an appointment with me, please. Okay. Now, we've kind of gone through those first two, right? Promotional partners, referral partners, and I would say at least half of this presentation is going to be about videos. And videos are really critical right now. And this is sort of the final big free and effective legal marketing technique we're going to talk about today. So videos have many different benefits. They're a great way to separate yourself from the competition. And once your prospects see you in a video, they're going to know right away what the difference is between you, their potential attorney, and the person down the street, that competitor, whoever that person may be, right? This video is really going to separate you from the pack. So if you have a video covering, their type of legal case, addressing their specific matter, answering their specific questions, you're going to immediately begin building a connection to this prospect, right? This person's going to start trusting you. Videos build trust at a really rapid rate. They allow you to demonstrate your personality and knowledge. And again, they separate you from the pack, right? So that's really cool. In this section, meaning, the sort of back half of the presentation, I'm going to tell you all about videos. I'm going to detail the two most effective categories of videos that you can create for your prospects. I'm going to show you examples of those videos. I will illustrate some other approaches you can also use. I'll explain how and where to use the recommended videos. And we'll also provide some easy ways to produce the videos. So, strap in because we're going to really dive deep into the video production here. So when you're starting out with video, I would highly recommend that the very first thing you do, talk about past cases that you've handled. These are really powerful, persuasive tools, right, that are directly going to connect you with someone and their issue. Again, addressing these questions when people are nervous, when they're scared, alleviating that is going to really impact how they view you, their potential attorney, right? So each video that you do about past cases should just explain a single case. Don't try to weigh it down by explaining many different types of cases all at once. Your single case video, try to get it to do maybe 2 to 4 minutes. Don't make it super long. We want people to stay engaged, right? 2 to 4 minutes is perfect for that. And then tell it in simple chronological order, right? This prospective client, this is what happened to them. They were really scared and nervous. This is how I handled it. This is how good they felt afterwards. This is the settlement they got. This is the result, etc. Perfect, easy chronological order, right? Now, ideally, you want to shoot a new past case video every time a matter concludes that has sort of a new fact pattern that you have not yet covered. So again, just get in the habit. Like I mentioned multiple times already, consistency is key, and I'm sorry to drone on about that so much, but consistency really is key. So get in the habit every time you shoot a past case video, the process gets easier, you will get more comfortable talking directly at the camera, and then we'll jump in a little bit further down the line here about video production techniques you can use as well. So what I have here is actually a past case video that we created for one of our subscribers. So I will be quiet for just about 30 seconds here and play you just the beginning of this clip so you can get an idea of what it is, and then I'll explain a little bit about it.
Lazarus, not only do we handle regular auto accidents and slip and falls, we also handle catastrophic injuries. We had a case where a 60-year-old gentleman was riding his motorcycle with his lovely wife on the back of the motorcycle. The motorcycle lost control and his vehicle ran into a boulder on the side of the road. He suffered quadriplegic injuries and essentially succumbed to his injuries and passed away.
All right, so I'll let this continue playing in the background while I talk over it, but we recorded this video over Zoom, basically. It's simply a Zoom interview. So we created this sort of portal. We interview our subscriber. This is one of our subscribers here in Southern California. This is very efficient and affordable. Obviously that interview doesn't take any travel. There's very little prep time. The shoot is only about an hour to 90 minutes long. So there's not a lot of time investment. The monetary return on investment is of course very high because it doesn't take very long as well. And then our team supplements our subscribers' storytelling with these text callouts, these informative slides, stock footage, background music, motion graphics. This is all stuff that our team does. So this is a great way that you can begin your video sort of production journey and then think about the ways you can improve it as you go along as well. Go ahead and skip through. Okay. So if you have a new practice, you don't have a lot of past cases to talk about, that's okay. Or maybe you're just starting to get into a new practice area. This is really common, especially during the pandemic over the past year. I would say probably a majority of firms I talk to are exploring the possibility of getting into a new practice area, right? There's opportunities, they see directions they can pivot to sort of improve their practice. That's great. So if you don't have past cases to detail, you can talk about, cases in the news, come up with some hypotheticals. These are things you can discuss to get your point across. And simply by examining and explaining these hypothetical cases, these cases in the news, you're going to be able to demonstrate your expertise, right? They don't actually have to be based on your past cases personally. So the biggest question that all prospects have, right, is what is the likely result in my case? And hypotheticals and cases in the news are perfect. You can still match their legal fact pattern to what you're talking about. So here's a pretty good example of that. We know of a criminal defense attorney, and what he does is he takes footage that's recorded during, arrests, search warrants, that type of thing, and he analyzes how he would handle those matters. So these are not cases he's handled himself. What he's doing is just analyzing footage that he has access to, right? He's demonstrating his knowledge every single time he does that, and he's reaching specific people's issues each time as well. So again, if you don't have past cases to detail, you've entered a new practice area, there are still other things that you can talk about. Now, next, after you do your past cases, you're gonna wanna answer some common questions, right? Prospects who are early in their investigation process, especially for those, those specialties we talked about a little bit earlier that aren't as time sensitive, maybe they need an estate plan, right? These people are going to take a little bit longer to sort of generate their ideal attorney, right? So they may not be ready to select a lawyer the first time that they see your website or they hear from you, right? But they're going to look to get their questions answered. That's exactly why people sort of, go on the internet and go on websites, right? And you can use video to address plenty of common prospect questions. For example, do I have a case? What happens next? Can I handle this myself? What might go wrong? How much is this going to cost me? Getting answers to questions is why people search Google. Think of any time you search Google, right? You're probably looking for information, you're looking for answers to questions. So again, answering those questions for your prospects is going to be really critical. Videos are easy to digest. They really explain your knowledge and willingness to help in a very concise and short manner. And then, of course, obviously start with your past cases, move to frequently asked questions. And on the next slide, we're actually going to show you some examples of frequently asked questions that you can answer. So here we have some examples for bankruptcy, business litigation, and criminal defense. And don't worry, we will have other specialties on the very next slide as well. So answering these common prospect questions with your video offers you several benefits as well. Of course, you're offering benefits to your prospect, right? Your potential client, but you're also getting plenty of benefit from your videos as well. You don't have to verbally answer the same question as often. I know that a lot of attorneys I talk to say, gosh, I answer the same things you sort of ad nauseum. Okay, shoot a video answering that. You won't have to do it as often. Prospects come to you better educated about what lies ahead. And then the prospects who do end up contacting you are going to be better quality. We believe at James Publishing that education is key, and that the educated prospect is going to make the best, most cooperative, most knowledgeable client, right? So we've heard from multiple lawyers that this is exactly the case. As soon as they started sort of offering educational content, more and better prospects began contacting them. And they're more willing to follow the lawyer's advice, right? Which is critical when you're talking about a sensitive matter. You want your new client to basically adhere to exactly what you're saying, and the people who are more educated about the process will do so. here, like I promised, are the more examples of frequently asked questions that you can answer for states, family law, injury law, and social security disability. So for frequently asked question videos, of course, start by answering the questions that you hear most often, right? That's the lowest hanging fruit. Start there. Your answers need to be direct and practical. Use plain language. Only answer one question per video as well. You know, if these videos are short, that's fantastic. Even if they take 5 minutes, just make sure you're answering one question. And really, I cannot stress this enough, but try to avoid sort of wishy-washy answers like it depends, right? If you need to say something like that, try to give some type of range, right? If you won't be able to give a concrete answer, because an answer like it depends isn't going to give your prospect sort of a concrete idea of how you're about to help them. So again, make a habit of this frequently asked question videos. They're easy to shoot. They won't take you very long at all. But again, the benefits will be really, really high for you. Now, I have a couple more examples of videos for you as well. So this is an example of a frequently asked question video. Again, I will play a little bit of it and then tell you a little bit about it as well.
Hi, my name is Shereen Middleton, founder of Middleton Legal. My office is located in Greenbelt, Maryland. We get a lot of questions from clients about the timing and when they should file for bankruptcy. Today, we're going to talk about if your situation is bad enough to file for bankruptcy. When it comes to filing for bankruptcy, no one knows your situation better than yourself. If you are struggling financially and worried about paying your bills, you might be wondering, is my situation bad enough to file bankruptcy?
All right, so as you can tell from this video, we try really hard not to just include, you know, sort of our subscriber, meaning our attorney subscriber's face, right, throughout this whole video. We try to really sort of focus on some educational, helpful content within the video itself. Obviously, the talking head is perfect for the intro and the finale. You want this person to know who you are. You want to talk directly to them. But if you can provide some helpful information in the accompanying slides, in the meat of the video, you know, that's perfect. And the slides are going to be particularly helpful if you don't just specifically read what's on the slides, right? So think about what I'm doing during this webinar. Obviously, I have these pre-created slides, but I'm not just sitting there and reading them. I'm sort of talking around them, right, on relevant points, but I'm not just sitting there and reading specifically. So those are things to keep in mind when you think about your own frequently asked question video. We do have one more example as well, so let me go ahead and skip ahead. Thanks, Shireen. Okay, so this is just another example. I'll just play a little bit of this one as well so you can get an idea.
Hi, my name is James Jones. I'm an estate planning attorney in Tacoma, Washington. Clients often ask me if they need an attorney to help them draft their estate plan. Today we'll discuss some reasons why that might be a good idea. Today we're talking about whether you need an attorney to draft your estate plan. Legally, you do not need an attorney to draft your estate planning documents. Wills and trusts do not have to be prepared or even reviewed by an attorney for them to be valid.
All right, so again, just about 30 seconds, short and sweet there, but you get the idea, right? Again, we're not focusing on just, you know, James's talking head there. We're adding all these informational slides. If you don't have slides, use a whiteboard. There are plenty of other ways you can do to get around it if you don't have a video production team, right? And then at the end of the video, of course, be sure to recap your earlier points, right? Wrap everything up in a succinct manner so your prospective client understands exactly how you're about to help them. Okay. So another benefit from video is that you can reduce calls from unqualified leads, right? And this is really critical. I know when I speak to attorneys, a lot of them say, you know, part of the process for us is I want to increase the number of leads, but specifically qualified leads, because I don't want to take every client. I don't want to pick up the phone and have to talk to people who aren't going to be a good fit for me. So video can help here, right? Teaching your prospects how you evaluate their legal situation and teaching them to evaluate the situation in the same way you do will sort of educate them about the process, I should say. And then, of course, the educated client, like I said before, makes the best client for you, right? So use videos to describe who you've represented in the past, explain the minimum thresholds required for you to take a case, etc. This conveys that you're selective about who you represent, and that sort of exclusivity really makes your law firm seem more attractive, right? There is a little bit of fear of missing out. You know, I want my case to be represented by, you know, Jane or John or whomever, because they seem like they're picky, they're selective. They don't take just anyone. I want to be one of that roster. So this person will go out of their way to make sure that before they contact you, they're not going to be rejected, right? They're going to go through their own sort of self-evaluation and say, oh yeah, you know, maybe my case isn't good, I'll go somewhere else, or maybe this is a good case, I should contact them. So again, just another way that video can help you out. Now this slide is super short and easy. We're going to talk about easy ways to begin here. So the pandemic specifically has really permanently, I would say, altered sort of standards for acceptable video. Everyone is now used to webinar recordings and phone recordings. It doesn't matter who the person is. It could be a politician or movie star, musician, me, you know, it could be anyone, but we're all sort of, you know, we've adapted to this new video quality standard, which is great. This makes it very easy for you to get into video production, right? There's a huge open door. All you got to do is walk through it now. So to get started, obviously you're familiar with Zoom, et cetera. We'll talk about this in just a little bit as well. I would recommend you invest in just a really inexpensive, what they call lavalier or lapel mic. You've seen these on, you know, talk shows. They're just a little mic that sits, you know, on your collar right here. You can also use something like an echo canceling speakerphone. That is what I'm using today to give this presentation. So these are, you know, inexpensive things you can find on Amazon. And then you can also do something like getting a phone tripod. If you're going to shoot with your phone, make sure that the tripod is set up. You know, again, this is $20. You can control the tripod with a remote. Makes it really easy to get started if you don't want to use your webcam. Okay, so getting started, right? Videoask.com. This makes it really easy to begin, and it doesn't cost anything, so you have nothing to lose to try it out and see if you like it. So again, things that are free are great to try out. So the first step is the hardest, but if you get in the habit of making these videos, again, you're going to have much more success down the line. So if you don't want to try sort of, you know, video ask and creating your own, which is kind of a tool where you sort of cobble together your own footage and your answers, etc. If you don't want to go that route, you can also hire a video editor to sort of make enhancements to videos, much like the videos I just showed you where our team does those text callouts and background music and motion graphics, all that fun stuff. A video editor can really help you out there. Video editing is very time consuming. I know this personally. Back in the dark ages of my college years, I studied film. So I'm very aware that, you know, video editing takes quite a bit of time. So you may need to hire a freelancer rather than sort of delegating this to either yourself or a team member. And I'll talk a little bit about freelancers coming up. Now, if you don't want to use your phone and, you know, a system like VideoAsk, you can use your laptop and Zoom, right? Everyone's familiar with Zoom these days. Everyone has used Google Meet, et cetera. There are plenty of systems out there that do this. The quality of these video platforms is acceptable. Like I said, no one's going to care that the quality is not, you know, shot on a 4K camera. This is fine. It's all good. So prepare slides beforehand. You know, when you're shooting these videos, if you prepare things beforehand, this will really help you do a streamlined presentation, right? Think about the way that I'm doing the webinar today. Obviously, we've pre-created some slides here. Again, I'm talking around them, but at the end of this presentation, you're going to be able to see my video and the slides together, and there's going to be no editing necessary. It's all sort of done in one shot. So think about that if you want to do something similar. If you need a freelancer to help you, look on systems like Upwork, Fiverr, freelancer.com. These are all websites where you can find video editors who have an array of talents, and they usually work for a pretty good rate as well. So don't be shy about sort of talking to those folks if you need them. You can also sort of improve the video quality if you need to with a solid webcam. I would recommend you shoot in at least 1080p. That's kind of the standard. I wouldn't say you need a 4K camera. That's mostly for nature documentaries and sports, etc. But 1080p will really sort of increase your video to the acceptable standard for today. And again, you can find webcams like this on Amazon for about $100 or even less these days. Now, when we're talking about the video, obviously the creation of the video is about 75% of the job, right? You're going to spend a lot of time doing this, but the other 25%, the other quarter of your time needs to be spent publishing the video, getting eyes on it, because otherwise, what's the point, right? So you need to focus on creating the clips. You as the attorney are the only person who can levy that legal experience. But when we're talking about posting, creating channels, that type of thing, again, you need to delegate this out to a team member. Make sure that that person is empowered to make these choices and upload them for you. They can be a great asset for you as you continue to deliver these videos. Now, increasing viewership. Think about sort of, to give you an example, think about book covers, right, or movie posters. These are specifically designed to engage people and get them sort of interested so they come back and they're interested and they take a closer look, right? This is exactly what we want to do with your videos as well. We need to title them with a headline directed to your prospective client's question or concern, right? So titles to think about, maybe something like, do you have a winning case? Is your appeal likely to succeed? How to reduce chaos in a divorce? How to restore your credit after bankruptcy? mistakes frequently made by self-represented claimants, common shortcomings in estate plans, right? Things that are going to appeal to a broad swath of prospective clients that you want to connect with. Now, when we're talking about increasing viewership, obviously there may be some questions about video optimization. Video SEO, or search engine optimization, is 100% a real thing. And I will say that it's complex, right? It's sort of esoteric. And if you want help doing something like that, I would recommend maybe hiring a freelancer or even an agency to help you, because there's a lot that goes into that, a lot of systems and research you'll need to do. So consider maybe hiring an outsider if you want help with video SEO. Now, obviously, we'll talk about sort of YouTube channels and that type of thing, but the first thing that you really want to focus on is your website, right? The website is typically the flagship for any law firm. And this is especially true if you're driving traffic from search engine optimization, meaning SEO, or PPC. You're using your social networks to drive traffic. People, their eyes are going to your website, right? And it's especially important to recognize these days that a significant amount of all web traffic, perhaps even a majority, comes from mobile devices, right? Everyone has a phone, everyone's on their phone all the time, even more perhaps than they are at a regular computer. So mobile users are really less likely to read long blocks of text, and their screen is short, their attention span's a little bit shorter, that's okay too, but they will gravitate towards videos. So at the top of your website, consider something like, do you have a case, right? This is something that's going to appeal to the most, again, broad swath of people who might come, right? You want to explain exactly how you evaluate cases, what you look for, again, qualify the leads as much as possible. So that's perfect for up top. And then down at the bottom of your site, maybe there's a video library, maybe there's a couple other clips, but those past cases, explaining those specific fact patterns, those type of things, again, building the collection. The goal is to match one of these videos to your prospective client's fact pattern, right? So that they feel a direct connection. They see exactly how you've helped someone that was exactly like them in the past, right? They feel comfortable, they know the roadmap ahead of them, and they feel comfortable picking up the phone and saying, hi, I need help. Now, at James Publishing, obviously, we are writers. We really love written content. That's what we're good at. Like our president, Carl, always says, that's what we hang our hat on. It's what we're known for. So not everyone is as interested in text as we are, which is okay too. Like, we're talking about video here. That's all right. There's actually a way where you can combine video and written, because many people, of course, do prefer to watch rather than read, which is okay. So if you can film enough videos, you can start inserting them into your drip email sequences. And then I see that we actually have a question about email campaigns in the chat, so I'll answer that in a little bit. But if you have these drip email sequences, and I highly encourage you to do so and investigate or create them if you don't already have them, you can insert videos, and specifically the types of emails that you can consider inserting videos into. Almost every email in your nurturing prospect series, right? You should have a prospect series that goes out, drip feeds nurturing information to this person, makes them feel comfortable. Videos are perfect for that, right? You can talk directly to them, relieve their fears, etc. Perfect there. Welcome letters for new clients. Every time a new client comes on board, there should be an email that goes out. Hi, thanks for joining the firm. These are the next steps. This is what's happening behind the scenes, etc. Perfect. Explain the roadmap. If you have a digital newsletter for past clients, videos are perfect for that as well. You can even make a digital flip book, which is sort of an interactive book. You can insert a video in there once per month, talk about a case in the news or something like that. Again, stay top of mind. And then even something like your email signature, it seems almost kind of funny, but you can include a link there like, hey, check out this latest video. I'd love to talk about this. Simple stuff like that gets, again, eyes on your channel, eyes on your website, which is what you want. You can even experiment with services like Loom. So if you go to loom.com, I believe, it's basically a free video platform where you can record yourself via webcam, and then you can actually record your screen as well. So if you want to walk someone through a case flow chart or explain something using a computer slideshow, you can use a service like Loom to record a really quick and easy video as well. Now, only a percentage of attorneys have social profiles, and if you don't have one, I highly recommend you get one, and I highly recommend that you are active on it. A lot of the profiles I see, it's great that you have a profile, but unless the profile is active and you sort of engage your followers, there's almost no reason to have a profile, right? So being consistently engaged on social is really important. If you are engaged and you're using text, add video. When people scroll through their sort of pages, they're looking for something that engages them right away. your engagement is materially going to increase if you have videos. So think about when you're scrolling down, let's say your Facebook feed, right? These videos are automatically playing. If you can have a transcript of that video, it automatically plays. The person, even if they have that video on mute, will see exactly what you're saying. So again, I would recommend posting video to your social profiles. And specifically for us, we recommend Facebook and LinkedIn. Obviously, Facebook is sort of the ubiquitous behemoth, right? It reaches almost everyone. The reach is huge there. And then LinkedIn, of course, perfect for promotional partners, more professional sources that you'd want to connect with and sort of foster. So if you're going to go to social networks and sort of put your time there, I'd recommend Facebook and LinkedIn specifically. Now, if you aren't on social, or even if you are, obviously we're talking about putting videos on your website. And of course, you want to put your videos on YouTube. YouTube is second only to Google in overall search volume. So it's extremely critical that you have a presence on YouTube because people are searching there. People go there all the time to look at stuff. And Google also owns YouTube. And this probably happened a decade, if not 15 years ago, but Google bought YouTube. So you can see the value. They really, really value video content, obviously. So get your videos on YouTube as well. If you can create enough videos, you can really sort of justify creating a channel, right? And a channel that continually has new videos, you can then ask people to subscribe to the channel, right? So every time you upload something new, your subscribers get a notification. This is perfect because every time you've notified someone that you have a new video, they may have a friend or coworker, you know, someone they know who needs your help, and that may jog their mind and say, oh gosh, I need to send this video over right now. It's really helpful that way. So again, posting YouTube, great way to increase your viewership, your engagement, and even shares. Now, all that being said, obviously we've covered quite a lot in the past 50 minutes, so I'll try to sort of breeze through this last part here as quickly as possible. But if you need help with anything I mentioned, whether that's promotional partners, referral partnerships, video creation, what you're seeing on the screen is the number of services that our marketing amplifier provides. And of course, I've highlighted the specifics that we spoke about in this presentation right there for you. So if you want help, and obviously a lot of this stuff takes a lot of time and effort to get off the ground. So if you don't have time to do it, let us handle it for you. Our marketing amplifier services sort of life cycle support through educational content and also all of the services you see on the screen. So as our subscriber, you gain immediate access to a fully branded content library of huge written materials, right? Books and booklets, newsletters. It's all branded for you. It's got your name, your contact information, your logos, your color, etc. It is yours to do with what you will, as long as you're with us. And then of course, we're going to help you with these other services as well. So we're going to help you deploy that content. So distinguish you with videos. We'll handle Zoom video shoots for you. We'll do the editing. It's all taken care of on our side. Website visitors, if you have a website that has 100 people coming per month, that's great. But do you get 100 calls per month? Of course not. There's a huge sort of number of clients that come to websites and then just disappear. So with a lead magnet, you can sort of get their attention, get them to trade their contact information, even if they're not ready to contact you quite yet. And that's something that we will do as well. We'll build a lead magnet for you. We'll place it on the website for you. Number 3 down there, shock and awe kits, wowing prospects, etc. We will nurture the prospect with not only a digital shock and awe package, but nurturing educational materials, right? And if you film videos with us, we can insert those videos into that nurturing series as well. It's a great way to build trust, get them to pick up the phone and call you. Now, welcome kit and reassurance series, number 4. Obviously, when a client comes into your firm, the welcome kit's important. Welcome them. Reassurance series, hold their hand through the process. Let them know that they made a good choice hiring you, so they do not feel anxious and they do not feel scared. Solicit online reviews. This is huge. Reviews drive a lot of traffic. Google values them very, very highly. So if you don't have a review campaign, we will help set one up for you, give you a portal, we'll solicit the reviews, and we'll even give you a showcase widget that you can put on your website. It's really, really cool. Stay memorable with past clients. We have a past client newsletter. We will send this out every month for you. We make sure it contains smarter living tips, helpful information, seasonal articles, fun facts, recipes, all kinds of stuff that people would be interested in because we want them to hear from you and they want them to look forward to hearing from you, more importantly. So we'll send that every month for you. Number 7, set appointments with professional referral partners. Yes, we will do that for you. We'll build the list. We will do the outreach. We'll do that all for you so you don't have to take time and do it. Number 8, we'll also cultivate that referral network. So we have those marketing books, like I mentioned. We'll brand materials for your referral partners. We have drip campaigns specifically for referral partners. So that's all part of the program as well. And then number 9, when you sign up with us, we don't just abandon you and sort of, give you the keys to the car without teaching you how to drive. Every month we have sessions with me, myself, Cara, our president, Lauren, our marketing specialist, We dive into different legal marketing campaigns, different things you can do, increase conversion rates, SEO, anything like that. We have a great Facebook group and a wonderful customer success team as well. So we'll be with you every step of the way, helping you get the most value from the program. Now, being said, of course, we want to save you as much time as possible. So we say that we do 90% of the work, and that's absolutely true. Almost everything is taken care of by us. We just need you for a few things. If you want a Zoom video shoot, give us 60 to 90 minutes per quarter. It doesn't take much time. This allows us to develop a new custom video for you every single month. We'll even put it on a Vimeo showcase for you. Now, referral partner calls, of course, you have to be there to take that call. It's about 10 to 15 minutes, every month, every other month, etc. We'll then handle the follow-up for you. If you want reviews, if you want, past client newsletters sent out, give us a list of your past clients. We'll send out the review request. We'll send out the newsletter for you. Then, of course, join our marketing mentor sessions, join our Facebook group, spend a little bit of time engaging with us and with other like-minded attorneys, and you'll really benefit long-term from sort of being around, smart, savvy marketers like yourself. We will handle everything else, including integration with your CRM or practice management suite. It's all taken care of by us for the most part. So, cost and terms, obviously, it's on the screen there. It's $6.95 per month for everything I just mentioned. We offer just a short 3-month commitment that gives us a chance to show you everything we can do. You'll explore every benefit we have to offer. You'll see specifically the return on investment you're about to get. And the first month is only $1. So you can come in, try everything out for basically 3 months for the price of 2. And then if you like it past that point, it's only month to month. You may cancel anytime. So, I know that took quite a bit. It's almost been a full hour. So that wraps up the main portion of the presentation. My contact information is on the screen. I'm going to drop it once more in the chat box as well. So if you want to connect with me and discuss anything I mentioned, whether that's videos or promotions, giveaways, anything like that, please feel free to reach out. There's my phone number, there's my email. But if you do want to connect, I would say that the scheduling link is best. That will give me a chance to research you and your firm, your website, your reviews, your social before that. And then we can have a really frank and honest discussion about how you're doing and where we might be able to help. So that wraps up, like I said, the main portion of the presentation. We will go into the Q&A in just a moment. We will be delivering a recording of the presentation along with that checklist, 23 legal marketing suggestions. So that will come to you in a few hours, certainly by the end of the day. Just give us a little bit of time to wrap things up on this end. So I have a couple questions here, and I will start with the one that I mentioned a little bit earlier, which is the email campaign. So the question is specifically, what app do you use to capture and tag emails for targeted email campaigns? So that is a wonderful question. So at the Marketing Amplifier, we use several different email techniques. We use a system called Drip, number one, that helps us really tag specific email campaigns and deliver them to really targeted audiences. We also use a system called SendGrid. We're very familiar with systems like MailChimp, etc. So those are all systems you can sort of explore and analyze. Typically, they are pretty cost effective as well. So you're not looking to spend thousands of dollars with these systems, but those are the ones I would recommend you take a look at because we're familiar with it and can vouch for not only their sort of veracity, but also that they are cost effective and have good return on investment too. Okay, Lisa has a specific question about the amplifier. So Lisa says, just increased from $495. What is the value for 200 more? So Lisa, I will send you a specific email after this, if you don't mind, and then we will sort of have a conversation either with me or the customer success team about that. Specifically, since it's about amplifier, I don't want to sort of get in the way of the other questions that are coming in, but I will directly message you after this if you don't mind. And another couple of questions that came in, how much time do you think is needed to create the amount of videos you recommend? So that's a good question too, and it doesn't have to be a ton of time. If you can devote even an hour per week to something like this, you can easily get 4 to 5 videos done every month, and that's all you really need to do, right? It doesn't need to be a day of your time every single week. You don't need to blow through your Saturday or Sunday creating videos. Single hour per week, that should be more than enough to get enough videos to sort of really start making an impact on your firm. A couple more questions. It looks like I have several active legal marketing channels. Where do you rank videos in effectiveness? That's a really good question. So let me think about that for a second. I would say videos, okay, let's start at the top. I would say that funnels are probably the best thing you can do. So again, when we're talking about people coming to your website, right? Obviously, people are coming to the website and that's great, but where are they going once they get there? That's a really good question, right? Think about that. When people come to the site, they're looking for answers, but they may get lost, right? There's resource pages you have, there's a library, there's your education, there's your bio, there's about the team, there's videos everywhere. sort of establishing a funnel so you can guide that person through the website or exactly show them where they need to go. That will really help you improve your marketing. And number two, probably referral outreach, I would say, specifically because those referral partnerships, again, they don't take much time to develop, but if you can sort of steadily increase that, and after 2 years, after 3 years, oh my gosh, your referral network could be absolutely massive. That is going to pay huge dividends. And then I would rank video number 3 after that. So funnels, referral outreach, and then videos, because those are the top 3, I would say, that make a sizable and significant impact in what you're doing. Okay, 2 more questions it looks like. I've shot a few videos in the past, but want to ramp up my effort. What type should I start with? Okay, so as we mentioned in your presentation, start with past cases. That's perfect. You want to match that fact pattern to prospective clients, and then move to frequently asked questions after that. So past cases first, frequently asked questions second. And then it looks like last question here, what is a good video editing program? So again, way back in the dark ages of my college days, I learned on Adobe Premiere, and Adobe Premiere is my recommendation. That is certainly an industry standard program. That is the one that we use here at the James Marketing Amplifier to deliver all of those fun motion graphics and overlays and all the cool fancy stuff you saw. There's a great add-on called After Effects that allows you to do really fancy stuff if you like as well. So I recommend you go with Adobe Premiere. But again, Premiere is really, I would say, kind of difficult to learn and get a hang of. So if you need help, I would recommend contacting us so we can help you with not only the Zoom shoot, but the video editing as well. So that looks like the end of the questions. I want to thank all of you for sticking with me for this full hour. I know it's been a little bit of a marathon. I appreciate you sticking with me. Thank you very much on behalf of everyone at James Publishing and the Marketing Amplifier team. Again, please schedule an appointment with me if you'd like to chat. We will deliver the presentation recording to you and that checklist of legal marketing suggestions. But for James Publishing and the Marketing Amplifier, I am Mike Margol, Vice President here. Thank you so much again. Have a wonderful day and good luck with all of your business endeavors. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.